आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की
जय।
जय श्री श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की
जय।
जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की
जय।
परम करुणा श्री श्री गौर निताय की
जय।
समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की
जय।
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Good morning. Welcome everyone. We will be continuing reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, The Creation, Chapter 15, Pandavas retiring. That's the subject, Pandavas retiring home, right? Yeah, retires time.
Family.
Text 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Yo na juga pabanayatya duranta krutsa durva sasari charita dayutagrah bhugyaha saka nasishtam upayujjayat strilokim trupta mamamsta salile binimagna sangha yo na juga pabanayatya duranta krutsa durva sasari rachita dayutagrah bhugyaha saka nasishtam upayujjayat strilokim trupta mamamsta salile binimagna sangha yona juga pabanayet duranta krutshat durva sasari rachitayda yuga tagra bhugya saka nasishtam upayujjayato strilokim trupta mamamsta salile binimagna sangha. It's a little different. Please try.
Yo no jugopavana itya duranta krichtrad durvasa sori richitad ayutagra bhugya shakan shishtam upayujya yatastriloking triptam amongsta salile vinimagna sangha.
Thank you.
Yo no jugo pavanayetya duranta krichrat durvasa sori rachita dayuta grabhugya shakha nasishtam upayujya yatastrilokim ruptam amamsa salile vinimagna sangha.
Anyone else? Want to try?
Yo no juga pavanayeta duranta kachat durvasa sora rachitad ayito grabhugya shaka nasistam upayujya yatastilokim triptam amamsta silile vinimagna sangha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yo no chico pavan etya duranta krichirad durvasa so ari rachitad ayutagra bhuvyaha shakan nasishtam upayujya yatastrilokim tritam amasta salile vinimagna Sangaha. Hare Krishna.
Yo no jugopavana eche duranta krichrat durvasa sori rachita dayuta grabhugya shakan nasishtam upayujya yatastriloki tripta mamamsta salile vinimagna sanga.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yono jugopa bhanayata uduranta kachad durvasho sharire rachitad ayutagra bhuyaya shaka nasishtam upoyogya yatastrilokim triptam amamsta saride bhimagna sangha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yo no jugo pavana etya duranta krachad durvasasori rachita dayutagra bhogya shakan nashishtamupajya yatasri loking trupta mamasta salile vinimagna sangha. Hare Krishna.
Yo no jugopavanayatya duranta krichat durvasasorichitadayutakra bhugya sakanna sistamupayujya yatastrilokim tripta mamamsta salile vinimagna sangaha.
Thank you. So, only the synonyms, or anyone else wants to try?
Hare Krishna. Yo no jugopavana eta duranta kruchat durvasasori rachita dayo tagra bhugayah shaka nashishtam upayujya yata srilokim trupta mamansta salile vinimagna sangha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Everyone did a very nice recitation. So we'll go for the synonyms. Yah, one who. Nah, as. Jugopa, gave protection. Vane, forest. Etya, getting in. Duranta, dangerously. Kruchrat, trouble. Durvasa Saha, of Durvasa Muni. Ari, enemy. Rachitat, fabricated by. Achyuta, Ayuta, 10,000. Agrabhuk, one who eats before. Yaha, that person. Saka Anna system, remnants of foodstuff. Upayujya, having accepted. Yataha, because. Trilokim, all the three worlds. Truptam, satisfied. Amamsta, thought within the mind. Salile, while in the water. Vinimagna Sangaha, all merged into the water. Translation purport by the Divine Messiah, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. During our exile, Durvasa Muni, who eats with his 10,000 disciples, intrigued with our enemies to put us in dangerous trouble. At that time, he, Lord Krishna, simply by accepting the remnants of food, saved us. By his accepting food thus, the assembly of Munis, while bathing in the river, felt sumptuously fed, and all the three worlds were also satisfied. Purport. Prabhupada is very elaborately and nicely gave this whole incident. I will. Durvasa Muni, a powerful mystic Brahmana determined to observe the principles of religion with great vows and under strict austerities. His name is associated with many historical events, and it appears that the great mystic could be both easily satisfied and easily annoyed, like Lord Shiva. When he was satisfied, he could do tremendous good to the servitor. But if he was dissatisfied, he could bring about the greatest calamity. Kumari Kunti, at her father's house, used to minister all kinds of services to all great Brahmanas, and being satisfied with her good reception, Durvasa Muni benedicted her with a power to call any demigods she desired. It is understood that he was a plenary incarnation of Lord Shiva, and thus he could be either easily satisfied or annoyed. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and by Lord Shiva's order, he accepted the priesthood of King Swetaketu because of the king's performance of sacrifice for 100 years. Sometimes he used to visit the parliamentary assembly of the heavenly kingdom of Indradev. He could travel in space by his great mystic powers, and it is understood that he traveled a great distance through space, even up to the Vaikuntha planets beyond material space. He traveled all these he traveled all these long distances within 1 year during his quarrel with King Ambaris, the great devotee and emperor of the world. He had about 10,000 disciples, and wherever he visited and became a guest of the great Kshatriya kings, he used to be accompanied by a number of followers. Once he visited the house of Duryodhana, the enemy cousin of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Duryodhana was intelligent enough to satisfy the Brahmanas by all means. Duryodhana was intelligent enough to satisfy the Brahmana by all means, and the great Rishi wanted to give him some benediction to Duryodhana. Duryodhana knew his mystic powers, and he knew also that the mystic Brahmana, if dissatisfied, could cause some havoc. And thus he designed to engage the Brahmana to show his wrath upon his enemy cousins, the Pandavas. When the Rishi wanted to award some benediction to Duryodhana, the latter wished that he could visit the house of Maharaj Yudhishthir, who was the eldest and chief among all his cousins. But by his request, he would go to him after he had finished his meals with his queen, Draupadi. Duryodhana knew that after Draupadi's dinner, it would be impossible for Maharaj Yudhishthir to receive such a large number of Brahmana guests, and thus the Rishi would be annoyed and would create some trouble for his cousin Maharaj Yudhishthir. That was the plan of Duryodhana. Durvasa Muni agreed to this proposal, and he approached the king in exile. According to the plan of Duryodhana, after the king and Draupadi had finished their meals. On his arrival at the door of Maharaj Yudhishthir, he was at once well received, and the king requested him to finish his noontime religious rites in the river, for by that time the foodstuff would be prepared. Durvasa Muni, along with his large number of disciples, went to take a bath in the river, and Maharaj Yudhishthira was in great anxiety about the guests. As long as Draupadi had not taken her meals, food could be served to any number of guests. But the Rishi, by the plan of Duryodhana, reached there after Draupadi had finished her meals. When the devotees are put into difficulty, they have an opportunity to recollect the Lord with rapt attention. So Draupadi was thinking of Lord Krishna in that dangerous position. And the all-pervading Lord could at once know the dangerous position of his devotees. He therefore came there on the scene and asked Draupadi to give whatever food she might have in her stock. On her being so requested by the Lord, Draupadi was sorrowful because Supreme Lord asked her for some food and she was unable to supply it at that time. She said to the Lord that the mysterious dish which she had received from the sun god could supply any amount of food if she herself had not eaten. But on that day, she had already taken her meals, and thus they were in danger. By expressing her difficulties, she began to cry before the Lord, as only a woman would do in such a position. The Lord, however, asked Draupadi to bring up the cooking pots to see if there was any particular foodstuff left. And on Draupadi's doing so, the Lord found some particle of vegetable sticking to the pot. The Lord at once picked it up and ate it. After doing so, the Lord asked Draupadi to call for a guest, the company of Durvasa. Bhima was sent to call them from the river. Bhima said, "Why are you delaying, sirs? Come on, the food is ready for you." But the Brahmanas, because of Lord Krishna's accepting a little particular food, felt sumptuously fed, even while they were in the water. They thought that since Maharaj Yudhishthira must have prepared many valuable dishes for them, and since they were not hungry and could not eat, the king would feel very sorry. So it was better not to go there. Thus they decided to go away. This incident proves that the Lord is the greatest mystic, and therefore he is known as Yogeshwara. Another instruction is that every householder must offer food to the Lord, and the result will be that everyone, even a company of guests numbering 10,000, will be satisfied because of the Lord's being satisfied. This is the way of devotional service. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvises Sanyavadi Paschata Destarane Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining on this morning, Friday morning. As usual, it's comfortable to be at home. And remember Lord Krishna's transcendental activities in the association of devotees. So this verse is basically Arjuna is thinking of Lord Krishna's activities in separation from him. He's mentioning Yudhishthira Maharaj, that incident where Durvasa Muni, they were protected by wrath of the Durvasa Muni. So we can see that when things are happening, many times when many things happens to our life constantly, we see good things happens and bad things happens in our life. Especially when good things happens to our life, we think that we are the cause of whatever happening, and we do not see how the Lord Krishna's hands are within all over our life. He's taking care of us all the time. He's our maintainer and he protects us. But in general, people of my level, I don't see that, how Lord Krishna is literally orchestrating everything for our needs. Many times when sometimes we ask our child, how did you achieve, if the child has achieved something, how did you achieve this? How did you get this? So many times we get answer that, oh, I did by myself. I did everything by myself. He's completely in ignorance of parents' constant endeavor in that success, in achieving that. Parents also constantly endeavor. They're praying, they're assisting, they're working hard, they're providing all the facilities so that the child can fulfill or be success in that endeavor. It happens. Child is in his own world, and he does not see the hands of the parents all over in his life, in his success. So it happens, for devotees also, we can see that actually it is by the will of the Lord, it's by the mercy of the Lord, by the love of Krishna, that we have everything we have with us. He is providing everything to us. He protects us from all dangers. It is said that when someone takes to devotional service, he will be freed from the reactions of the prarabdha or prarabdha, everything. Right? We must have heard about it. Right? When you take to devotional service, when you take initiation, there's so much of karmas we have performed. We'll be freed from the reactions of that. But because I'm not experiencing now, and I don't have that gratitude also, because I don't know if this is happening or not. I don't know if the Lord is protecting me or not. I don't know if I'm being freed from the reactions from all the sinfuls or not. But actually, He is literally taking care of us in all circumstances. And everything we do, both materially or spiritually also, he said, I am the ability. I give that ability to you. Rasamapsu kaunteya prabhasmi sasi suryayaha pranavaha sarva vedesu sabda khe purusam nashu. I'm the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I'm the sound in ether and ability in man. So Krishna is saying, I am ability in man. So when Arjuna tried to protect all the ladies from Dwarka, he was defeated by ordinary cowherd men. He was like shocked to see how this could happen. And now he realizes that, okay, all this thing I was claiming that I'm so strong, I'm so powerful, everything comes to me. I was claiming, that I'm the cause, but actually it was Lord Krishna who gave that ability. And to win from the wars, also such a powerful wars, there was no chance for alive, saving one's life from that war. What happened is because of the Lord Krishna's mercy. Now in this situation, Arjuna is reminding to Yudhishthira Maharaj, dear brother, do you remember when we are in exile? When we are in exile, we are living in forest. An incident took place. And that was with Durvasa Muni. Prabhupada writes, and Durvasa Muni is not an ordinary Muni. It says that his plenary portion, his plenary incarnation of Lord Krishna. Because his plenary incarnation of Lord Krishna, he has similar nature. He can be pleased very easily, and he can be frustrated, very annoyed very easily also. Krishna, when Bhagavad Gita explains what is the nature of the bhakta, is he doesn't get disturbed with lava, jaya, whether gain or one gains or loses, wins, or or difficult situation or good situation, one does not get disturbed. But Durvasa Muni, he is not a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Everyone attains a certain quality based on one's sangha. So Durvasa Muni had similar nature of Lord Shiva, who gets satisfied very easily. When they're satisfied, they just give everything when they want. And who can get annoyed also very easily. When they're annoyed, when one gets annoyed, they curse like anything. Durvasa Muni curses. And you will see in our friend circle, in our relatives also, it happens, similar thing many times it happens. As long as it is satisfied, they'll be always glorifying you. Oh, this man is so nice, this man is so good, my best person, my best friend, like that. The moment something goes wrong, they'll say, you're the worst enemy. The same person will cause worse situation for us. This is the nature of this in this material world. People full of passion and ignorance. So one incident Prabhupada writes about Durvasa Munis and Kunti. Kunti, in her childhood, childhood means a little grown up, of course. She was given the responsibility by the king, to take up the guests. So it happened to be that Durvasa Muni was the guest. And in generally, people are afraid of to serve also, because he's anyone who gets angry will be very, very afraid to serve, right? That's the natural, and become so serious. So somehow or other, Queen Kunti has served Durvasa Muni very satisfactorily. And Durvasa Muni was satisfied, and she gave the benediction to her that, okay, because he could see that Kunti will have problem in future and not able to Pandu will not able to beget any children. So he gave this benediction that you call for any demigods, they will come in your service. That's a great, it's not a very easy thing, but she got it because Durvasa Muni was satisfied with her service. So we also know his dissatisfaction in relationship with Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj just took little water in his absence to break the fast for Ekadasi. So he becomes so offended, and he felt very offended. Actually, he even tried to claim the life of the Ambarish Maharaj. For small little mistake he felt, he wanted to take his life out. So it's a very dangerous. This is just personality was given about the Durvasa Muni. Now, once he visited to Duryodhana's place, I'm sure he was not invited, but his Prabhupada writes, he had 10,000 disciples, and generally he became the guest of the kings. And many things in this incident, we will see the culture of the Vedic culture is described, and we will go through a little bit on that also. So they take rest, become the guest of the Kshatriya kings. And the Kshatriya kings, because they have ability, they serve them nicely, and they're supposed to serve also. So he went to Duryodhana's place with his 10,000 disciples. Looks like, they go like a big herd. And Duryodhana knew Durvasa Muni's nature, and what did he do? He did not leave anything which can annoy Durvasa Muni. He really took care of nicely this Muni. So Durvasa Muni was very satisfied. He was very satisfied. Then he said, now, Duryodhana, now because you served me so nicely, tell me what I can do for you. ask me some benediction. So Duryodhana's mind, as usual, crooked is, they don't see some, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, there are different kind of personalities. Some people, they're happy, but by their own good. And some people are happy by others' bad happens. Something happens bad to someone, they will become happy. Para dukhe sukhi. Para dukhe sukhi means if something happens bad to somebody, immediately I feel satisfied. That's good. Especially it happens to my enemy, this is very good. He or she could have deserved more to have it. So Duryodhana, when he got this benediction, he was getting this benediction from Durvasa Muni without utilizing for his own benefit. He thought of the bad for his enemy cousin. That's the satisfaction for such kind of people, the maniac people. He said, or says, I have my eldest cousin is Yudhishthira Maharaj. Now he's in the forest. They may need, please visit them as well. But here he says that please visit after this time, after they finish their lunch, including Draupadi. The way I read it twice, the way I don't know what is the whole plan, but it says the intrigued means, as Prabhupada writes in the purport here, no translation. Durvasa Muni, who eats with his 10,000 disciples, intrigued with our enemies to put us in dangerous trouble. So it appears like that he has made the Duryodhana plotted, that's understood. But did Durvasa Muni agreed to put them in trouble, or is simply he went to visit? That part little not clear. Even though he's becomes very angry rishi, but why he would be participating in that, that's the question. So anyway, he agreed to Duryodhana's proposal. He visits to the forest where Yudhishthira Maharaj is there. Now Yudhishthira Maharaj, along with his four brothers, and Draupadi, they live in the forest, and Draupadi received a pot, an Akshaya Patra. The pot has the ability to supply the food unlimitedly, but with the condition that until Draupadi has not finished her meal. Once she takes her meal, that's the last that could supply for that day. That's interesting. These are the things we have to develop faith on it. This happens. And when Durvasa Muni reached with his friends, with his associates, disciples, king received them. I don't know how still we can call him as a king there, because he was not doing the role of a king. Durvasa Muni should not have expected him that reception in any way. But King Yudhishthira Maharaj has received him with full love and care. And he offered him, as an etiquette, to take food. So what happened? Before they take food, they have to take bath in the river. So that's the Vedic culture I was explaining, that one needs to clean themselves before the honor prasad, and they go to river. So when Durvasa Muni went to river, the anxiety of Yudhishthira Maharaj began. How will we feed? Because Draupadi said, I have already taken my dinner already. How will we feed? It's a big anxiety. The danger has come. For us, we can understand. What is the danger? The danger of being getting annoyed. Durvasa Muni will get annoyed. We will be in full danger. So immediately, when Draupadi also learned this, she was in so much of an anxiety. She thought of Krishna. So this is one lesson. When we are in anxiety, when devotees are in anxiety, it's natural that one remembers Krishna. there was a devotee always used to tell, for everything he used to tell, oh, Krishna, Krishna. When I speak something, then he say, Krishna, Krishna. I was saying, why this person is saying always Krishna, Krishna? Later I realized it's good. It makes a habit to remember Krishna. But here Draupadi, I think someone can mute it. Yeah, here Sonia Mataji can mute. So Draupadi, here naturally it was an anxiety here. She remembered Krishna, and from nowhere Krishna appeared there sadly. And what is he's coming? He says, Draupadi, I'm hungry. Give me some food. Now Draupadi is thinking, oh my God, I have another issue now. Krishna never asked anything. He's asking today, and I have nothing to give to him. I have nothing to give to him. So Krishna says, she said, I've already taken my dinner and there's nothing left to give you anything. So Krishna said, oh, okay, see, look at the parts, and if anything will be left over, just bring whatever is left over. So when she brings the empty part, and Krishna finds a tiny remnant of vegetable lying there. And he takes it out and puts in his mouth and gets satisfied by accepting from his devotee whatever is there. This is he did to save them. So when Krishna eats this, it means it said Yasmin Trishti Jagat Trishti, something like that. When Krishna is satisfied, everyone is satisfied. So in this pastime, Lord Krishna, what did he do? By having that, he made everyone full, satisfied in the stomach. And that includes, my understanding is did everybody, but maybe he did only to the Durvasa and his followers, 10,000 followers. So all of them are taking bath, getting excited to eat something which Yudhishthira Maharaj is going to serve, very nice varieties. But suddenly they find that their stomach is full, they cannot take anything. Sometimes when our stomach is full, still if some nice dessert comes, we'll like to, okay, let me eat that, right? But Krishna made them in such a way that there's no room for eating anything else. So after he finishes this, Krishna does this. He says, okay, why are you waiting? Go, invite them, go and call for the guests. So interestingly, they send to Bhima, because Bhima is also such kind of personality, right? He will get very mad. So anyway, they send Bhima. Bhima goes and he calls, please come, your dinner is ready. It's lunch or dinner, I don't know, but book says here dinner. So your dinner is ready, please come. So Durvasa Muni, all of them realized, now we're in big trouble. We came for food here and they're ready with all these different varieties of food. Now, if you don't eat, they will be dissatisfied, will be in trouble. So without coming back, they returned to their own place. So this way, there are a lot of lessons we can learn. Prabhupada, first of all, writes in this purport that in this incident proves that the Lord is the greatest mystic. He's called Yogeshwara. How he did it. He ate very little tiny food, but he made everybody full. From nowhere in the forest, he appeared just as the devotees were in danger. And Prabhupada writes that every householder must offer food to the Lord. And the result will be that everyone, even a company of guests numbering in 10,000, will be satisfied because of the Lord's being satisfied. This is the way of devotional service. And that's Prabhupada is writing. So in remembering, coming back what Arjuna, in that situation, he's remembering how the Lord was protecting us from every situation, every danger. Constantly he was protecting us. And everything we had is actually by the mercy of the Lord. It belongs to him. So the Arjuna was also expressing his gratitude in one sense now. My spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, many times he says that bhakti is expressing gratitude. We have devotional service, the process we chant, but we express gratitude with a grateful heart. We accept and we appreciate what we received in our life. And if we look into our life, literally we have nothing. When we take birth in the womb, our body was created under the someone. We have no contribution building this body. And we come to this world also like without anything, empty-handed, crying. And immediately we cry, the demand for us is there, we demand for milk, and milk is there. And everything we have with us, everything, gross and subtle level, is actually the mercy of the Lord. But unfortunately, this world is constantly fighting. And always, individual level and collective level, fighting for water, fighting for oil, fighting for land. People can fight for even 2 inches of land for if someone takes more. But the bhakti is, to show our gratitude that everything we needed, our needs are there. Krishna is personally supplying to us. I was hearing related to this subject only, and from Prabhupada, he said that in America, and especially he was saying, in America, you have all the amenities. Materially, no one is well situated than, people are living in America. That time he was referring to Americans, because we are also living now. We are also called Americans now, right? So Americans have all the material facilities, wealth, food, everything we have it. So for that, only way we show our gratitude that Krishna, you have given today. Tomorrow may be something, we may not be in that situation. Our situation may change. But by the mercy of the Lord, we have everything, and we should engage in devotional service and not again become mouse by not utilizing everything was given by the Lord. So this is a great, lot of lessons can be learned, but one thing we can see is that for a devotee, Krishna constantly protects in all circumstances. He never leaves. He always protects. Only thing is, we have to take a shelter of him. We have to know that Krishna is my protector. Then Krishna will definitely save us. So we have, today I took a little more time because of the long story. Sorry for that. Anyone, because of the long narration, anyone want to please share something on this? Vishnu Prabhu, add something, please.
So your question before, I don't know if you concluded about that, was that was Durvasa Muni in on the conspiracy to cause trouble to Yudhishthira Maharaj? Was he aware of that? Or was he just an unwitting participant? I think you asked that question, but I don't know if you came to a conclusion. So I'd like to hear what the other devotees think about that.
Mine is a guess, and I'm going to say he was not, he did not know. It was only Duryodhan who had those ill thoughts.
And what makes you think that?
Durvasa Muni is giving into anger but he's very educated. He has studied the scriptures, so I think he knows wrong from right, but he gives in to anger.
On the other hand, you could say that Duryodhana had pleased him and Durvasa Muni had agreed to give a benediction. So after agreeing to give a benediction to, or a favor Duryodhana, he was in some ways bound to do what Duryodhana requested, knowing perhaps, well, we can take a step back. You know, with Ambarish Maharaj.
Yeah.
So in Ambarish Maharaj's case, Ambarish was fasting for so many days, and it was a time, and it was Ekadashi, and it was time, the special time to break the Ekadashi. Durvasa Muni had left, has gone to take bath at that time too. And so then Ambarish Maharaj then asked his Brahmins, well, what should I do? It's time to break the fast. What should I do? So what did they say?
They said you can drink water and break the fast.
Why drink water?
Because he has to break the fast at that time for that fasting yajna to be complete. He has to break the fast at that time.
Yeah, but at the same time, his dilemma was that if he eats before his guests, Durvasa Muni, that would be an offense. Would be bad etiquette. So they said, well, drinking water can be taken as breaking the fast or not breaking the fast. Remember, right?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So then Durvasa Muni came back. And why did he get mad?
Because he decided to look at it as having broken the fast.
How did he know?
Because he's Muni.
Okay. So he knew. He knew what was going on. He knew exactly what was going on. So I'm just saying, right. in this, he knew what was going on. So in the same way, you can think that Durvasa Muni, Duryodhana had asked him to go to Yudhishthira Maharaj after Yudhishthira Maharaj and Pandavas and Draupadi had finished her meals. How would he know when she finished her meals? He's coming from, did they have like did he give a phone call over there? Did some text and say, oh, WhatsApp, I finished my meals. Okay. How did he know? Because he was a mystic, right? He was a mystic. But, part of the last paragraph is that Lord Krishna is the greatest mystic, because even though Durvasa Muni was such a mystic that he could travel throughout the universe, he could go to the Vaikuntha planets, etc., that this arrangement by Krishna, he didn't get it. He didn't realize what was going on. Because Krishna's mysticism, Krishna's Yogeshwar is the more powerful mystic. So he was completely baffled by Krishna's arrangement here also. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Durvasa. So Durvasa, you mentioned that he was a great devotee of Krishna. Well, it says there in the purport he's a great devotee of Lord Shiva. I think you just made a mistake there. You just, But also there's a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Durvasa gave a benediction to Srimati Radharani. You know that benediction?
Who Durvasa Muni gets?
Gave a benediction to Srimati Radharani.
Yeah, whatever she cooked, she would not cook the same thing twice.
And
Krishna, and it's very delicious, and Krishna will really
whatever she cooks will be just like better than nectar. That's Interestingly, with Durvasa Muni, when Lord Chaitanya was traveling to South India, he stayed, he went to Udupi and he met the followers of Madhvacharya. You know that? And there was different branches of the Madhva Sampradaya, and one branch was the Tattvavadis. and according to they were more focused on ritualistic ceremonies than developing love of God. But anyway, in the purport, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is quoted as giving the disciplic succession of the Madhva Sampradaya. And in that Sampradaya, disciplic succession, it's very interesting because it's not the one that we say. And included in the Sampradaya, after the 4 Kumaras, is Durvasa Muni. You can check it out. It's a Madhya Lila, 9th chapter, 245th verse. So how does that work? I don't know.
In Madhva Sampradaya?
Yeah, you check it out. Madhya Lila, 9th chapter, 245th verse. That he gives the disciplic succession taken by the Madhvas, the Madhva Sampradaya, what they say. Take a look at it. You'll find there's starts with Brahma, of course. Then after Brahma is Shanakadi Rishi, the Kumaras. Then after the 4 Kumaras is Durvasa, which I guess it could be another Durvasa, but it seems like go down further. You got to go down. There's a list given.
Yeah.
There we go. Up there. Yeah. See. Right here. Hansa Paramatma, or that's Krishna. Charama Brahma Shanakadi, that's the 4 Kumaras. And Durvasa is right there, right? And then much later we don't see Vedvyasa in there. There's Achyuta Preksha and Srimadvacharya. So that's very interesting. Don't know exactly what to make of that. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. We will go through this. Maybe send the Sobharati Mataji can send a link so we can take a look. That's interesting also to see how this parampara has come. Thank you, Vishnu, so much. Anyone else has any comments and corrections? Kavili Prabhu, welcome back.
Thank you.
I was going to
Very
ask.
nice class, Prabhu.
Yeah, Golgan and the Priya Mataji.
Yeah, I was going to ask. You said that Durvasa is a plenary portion of Lord Vishnu's and his devotee of Lord Shiva. So is he one of the original rishis that came from the universal form or something?
No, it is mentioned plenary portion of Lord Shiva, not Lord Vishnu.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's why the mistake you made. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking how we can be plenary portion of Vishnu and the devotee of Lord Shiva.
Oh, okay.
And another question is that one of the, the first rishis that was from Brahma, that came from Brahma, is in one, some of the 11, how many rishi?
7 rishis, right?
One of
the 7 rishis, no? 7 rishis?
the original rishis that was.
No, Durvasa came from Lord Shiva.
Oh, okay.
So Durvasa doesn't come under those rishis. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much. Any other comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Very nice class. You told the story very nicely. Nice discussion. I just noticed that the first time you said plenary portion of Vishnu, but second time you corrected yourself. You said plenary portion of Shiva. You corrected also. That's what I noticed.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Sita Mataji, want to say something?
Yes. So Krishna goes to Draupadi, takes a little remnants of of a vegetable or whatever was in the pot, and he, you know, and that's the Leela, right? And everyone's satisfied. He really didn't even have to do that, right? If he wanted, he could have just done, you know, without taking a vegetable from the pot, he could have still did the, you know, he could have still satisfied Durvasha Muni and his 10,000 followers without even doing that little action. My understanding is he does that to show us that, you know, he's there to take care of you. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, I think so. That's a good, many times it is said, you know, just by the will of the Lord, whole universe is created and maintained. And if he has to kill these miscreants, he doesn't have to come. He can just simply by his will, he can kill all these miscreants. But basically he comes to Paritrayana Sadhana. He likes also association of the devotees, his own devotees. He inspires his devotees. So that's the primary reason he comes. That's my understanding. But you're right. You know, he would have done anyway. It doesn't depend, but he performs this Leela because those activities can be a constant object of meditation for all of us. That's the point, you know, what I was sharing. Even Arjuna was also probably didn't think many times. Now, after Krishna has left, he's saying, look, Krishna left and my ability is also gone. So to learn that everything Arjuna had is the ability given by Krishna. And similarly, for our life also, from all these activities, we learn that actually we don't see it as Krishna is taking care of. Literally, we don't see, no, we just have a faith and we learn from Shastras, oh, Krishna may be taking care of me like that. But actually he is doing. And that incident again has been proved. But the Brahmana who was reading Bhagavad Gita, when he read that portion that Krishna personally supplies the necessities. So he did not will how he can do personally supply. Then Krishna again performed that pastime. So these all are the activities, you know, which becomes an object of meditation for the devotees. Leelas, that's relished by the devotees. Thank you for thinking that.
Yeah, no, thank you for confirming.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I just thought of asking, it's just my feelings. As a housewife, I can imagine how Draupadi felt when Durvasa Muni was bringing 10,000 devotees for food, for lunch, whatever it is. But a housewife, she feels so. If she did not have finished her lunch, that's a different story. But the feeling, I can imagine how she felt. And, but of course, Krishna helped her. But that is a lesson for us, for everybody, or the ladies, you know. So we offer prasadam and then we think, and then just Krishna will help. That is the thing. That's how he helped Draupadi.
Yes, that's a very nice. The prasadam has a lot of potency. Actually, we can do. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, and then the conclusion, he says that, okay, every householder must offer food to the Lord, and the result will be that everyone, even a company of guests numbering 10,000, will be satisfied because of the Lord's being satisfied. It has, the prasadam has its own mercy. That's in Jagannath Puri also, if you see, even if you don't have anything, you know, you will get a little dry grain of Lord's remnants. It's called nirmalya. And everywhere, either you get a whole big plate or you get a little bit, it works the same way. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarivascha kripa sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Granthasman Bhagavatam ki Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Everyone have a wonderful day.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.